Hello and welcome back to Vivy, where if you're struggling from any sort of memory loss, how's that going? Well, I'm not sure that this little bits of the episodes are really going to help. Vivy having a complete mental shutdown after the scientist forming a new personality for the years since, but still little things tickling away in the back of her mind. The name? Vivy Matsumoto. The face of the one who has been so consistent in all of these events. Is she going to awaken a part of herself by the end of this? Are we going to avoid yet another future separation into the, well, big convergence event of all the AIs going crazy? What's going on with Ophelia? With Ophelia taking to the stage, actually, almost entertaining people. Practicing for a... I mean, kind of the same... kind of words as Matsumoto there, but coming from a thing that size and with a hulking personality. So, do every stage singing AI get their own partner? I wonder if she will learn what it means to put your heart in it. Not sure how I feel about that close-up there, the solemn look. Oh. Well, at least we know how and where, and considering Vivy dove off the top of that previously and Matsumoto stopped it. It seems as though the future is changing. Whether or not it's for the better, I don't exactly know. But just like the story of the sunrise, where it's like, hang on, this was supposed to play out differently. Even though they've got the knowledge of the future of events and things that are going to happen, it might not be enough. Since things are diverging. Great. And I think the people along the way that we meet that make up this entire story just how much of influence do they all have on the world as well. For instance, since Matsumoto has knowledge of the future and is trying to actively change things, without that knowledge, will everyone just carry out the same paths? How do they know it was suicide, though? Oh god. So now not only do we have to stop Ophelia, but also the possible onset of everyone else thinking, oh. This is a mission that he himself can carry out here. She's only tagging along because, well, she forced him. That may be the case, but right now... the fact that, because it's an AI, can hold multiple conversations at once and is talking while communicating with Matsumoto. Bong. And what does it mean to be yourself? The personalities of all these AI. Well, just go and deal with it now, obviously. But what if she wasn't thinking of the idea and you've put it in her head now? So as long as you stop the event, that's fine. What, you just leave it? What happens if he tries to... There you go. You might have just postponed it for a day or a week or something. Actually going after the problem rather than the event. She just can't help herself. In the planetary. Got to start somewhere. Sometimes merely singing isn't enough. See, that's why I have a hard time caring about the mass-produced music. I sing well, but there's no feeling of it. What a strange thing to come out of nowhere. Good conversation. Oh. He just shut down. And now he's been put in a little shrine as sorts. What to have been able to meet him. I agree with that from based on what we saw. Just a tiny bit brash. And considering what we saw before, the one and only partner. He has to live up. She has to live up to the ideal of what Antonio saw for her. And when it does just switch into the highly detailed sections, are you expecting to sing like that? To sing and make everyone happy, including the memories of Antonio and everyone. And hopefully yourself. Well, that's the thing. It's... On the surface, everything could be fine, but we also don't know that there's no kind of interference or anything. No record of him existing at this point. Is that because in the previous timeline he had died 10 times over? But Vivy interfering constantly. Capricorn? I think having the idea of the zodiac signs in a planetarium with it makes it easy to have a impressive backdrop to all the music. She's thinking. It's a good song, but there's something missing. Neither sympathy nor empathy. Some things can't be done with just ruthless efficiency like this. Put your heart into it. A part of herself that she just can't let go of. Thinking. His circuits aren't needed to take in or remember all of this. He tried to keep a little aloof. Co-workers, maybe. When needed, at least. Pop in every once in a while, every 15 years or so. A bit prickly at times. for whenever someone was in danger, she would thrust herself into the action. She suffered quite a lot, and the fact that he just goes silent in that. Well, there's still a certain level of connection that he has there. Then after all of the ideals put on her by the original scientist who sent him on this mission. So we will know her whereabouts at all times. Sometimes it doesn't take the just straight up interference approach. That seems like a fair trade. Who was that worker? Only caught a glimpse of it at the end, but I saw the hair. Quick, battle stations! Huh. More ghosts in the machine. Is he hiding from the cameras himself, using the, like the glasses to blend in, or is this purely a... Aside from my own? What? Her? I see. Well, running around in a circle isn't going to do anything. How long has she been out of the dressing room? I'm not surprised I missed the... Sagittarius? I'm not surprised I missed the fact that she was missing her flower, but... Top floor. Final stop. Who are you? The security forces. Shake the strange robot cube's hand. Just put things in a clear to understand way. But you've got no one to share it with. And since it's an impossible task to fulfill, excuse me. Not quite where I expected it to go, but the fact that it is me, Dio. Hey, pretty fucking close. Antonio da. Excuse me, Antonio. I can see why you just stopped working after all of a sudden. Transferred his subroutines and consciousness over into Revelia. No wonder it couldn't put in all the effort in. This just does actually raise a few questions, I guess. If one AI can subvert and replace a consciousness with their own, then maybe the past ones could have been shifted out over somewhere. In fact, the Matsumoto has always been so gung-ho of just completing the mission, there's no time to think about the other factors of it, there's no time for sympathy or empathy. Maybe there's some time to learn now. Excuse me? Ah. That would be why. I mean, I've never been one to be able to keep up with piano stuff. I can do one hand at a time, but connecting the two. He has to go back for more, if possible. Help anyone else that is caught in. I mean, the more people there are, the more people there is to keep happy. How many is he actually going to manage to get out? Also, well, it's a matter of time. You did have a tanker, but the keys. What is the difference between solid white and the flashing blue? That's an odd chair design. The future's a little different, isn't it? You know, there are several things I think that really take the cake in this. The fact that we're always being introduced to some new things, then you start to think back to, oh, has that been a case all along? Has there been things going on that we just didn't know about? With AIs now being able to overwrite a personality, hide in their body for a while, where what do AIs, like the ones that aren't the songstresses, what are their goals? We saw the piano teacher. Oh, my mission is to make people happy with my piano. What about Antonio? My mission is to make people happy with light rig setup? At what point does the things start to get a little warped and they carry out their own desires with, like, whatever it is this is? And with new-ish characters, things being introduced all the time, because we are jumping ahead 10 years, 15 years here and there, knowing when and where people show up, if they age, and if we've met them before. And the only real constant is, well, we're always going to hear Matsumoto's whining little voice in the background there. You got to uphold the mission. All of the events so far, they've all been drastic turning points which have gone towards, like, the signing of new bills, the changing of AIs in the public perception. At what point does it all come back and there's that switch over to let's kill everything? It's a little thought-provoking. There's some lessons and stories in there which get you thinking about the real world, not just the one we're seeing in Vivy. But there's also lessons that we can pick up ourselves, because, you know, what does it mean to put your heart in it? Rather than just going through the motion and doing things because, well, it's your job, it's what you're expected of. Find something that you actually take pride in. And how many times is Vivy going to be tased or electrocuted or something along that like? I wonder if this Bazap has awoken anything in her, like shuffled a few things loose. It'll be interesting to see what comes up next, I guess, after body swap. Me, Antonio. Always has been. I want to see where this goes, so if you enjoyed this episode, let me know. Leave a like and a comment down below. Consider subscribing to the channel. All in all, get yourselves a bit of rest. So I can see you there. Whether or not I'm really me by the end of all of this, I don't think my patrons really care as long as they get some more anime, so I guess I need to thank Noku, Raywin, Sal, Arvius, Kite, Shiwan, Matt, Skirly, Cardboard, Croyville, Levi GR, Scott Raymond, Mega42, Dark Shadow 7899, Jim Ace, Adam Horvath, Moaha, Finez Kid, Yellow Dragon 123 and everyone else. But if I do seem overcome with a malevolent entity, as long as I don't decide to try and take my channel off the rails, I think we could get on fine.